Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my live. I am very happy to be here. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I wasn't feeling too well and I wanted to be fully alive here today. And I'm glad I did because I feel so much better. So if you are here, I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you spending this time with me, whether you're going to be here watching live or on the replay. I appreciate you. You chose to be here with me, and I'm glad we're spending time together. So when you come in, please say hello. If you are watching the replay, please say hello as well. Comment all along the way. Even if you're watching the replay, I will come back and I will answer your questions. I'm a coach through and through, so I love coaching you through anything that you want clarity, direction, and guidance on. Like that's my jam. So ask away. Okay. So my name is Jessica Lozano. I am a femme priestess and a relationship coach, and I help women embody their full, sovereign, divine, feminine essence and call in the relationships of their dreams, the man of their dreams, so you guys can co-create the life of your dreams. It's what I do. It's what I love. It's what I embody. And this is what my mission here on earth is to help usher in women into their sacred feminine essence, usher in the sacred divine blueprint for sacred relationships, and to help co-create this new paradigm that we're all stepping into, that is one of where God's presence is felt, spirituality is felt, our divinity is the forefront of how we operate in our life, and not in our shadow identities anymore. So, I love saying that. All right, so I have some notes here. I'm trying something different. I'm trying to see if the documents would be easier for me to go back versus having paper. So let's try this out. That's why the tripod is up a little bit higher. Okay, so at the end of this live, I'm going to share with you about 2 programs that I have going on right now that are perfectly aligned with what we are talking about today. So if you want to dive deeper into your authentic feminine expression and into breaking disempowering behaviors that you have in your relationships, I'm going to talk about 2 programs, and you can bundle them up together at the very end. One of them starts next week, so I'm super excited about that. I'm happy to do round 2 of the Liberated Women in Relationships and to lead and guide women into their full feminine essence and all of the 4 archetypes, and really call forth that man through that embodiment of what they are holding, because that's what we're doing. So I'll talk about that at the end, because that starts next week. All right, so today we're going to talk about embodying your authentic feminine expression, and how that draws in your king, the man of your dreams, the one, the love of your life. You know, when you close your eyes and you think about the relationship that you want, the man that you want, and how he is with you and how he takes care of you, how he treats you, how he provides, how he is that protection, and how he is so safe to be around, that's what we're talking about here. I'm talking about your king, where you guys are creating your kingdom and queendom together, right? So who wants that? Give me a little hands up emoji. So this live is for the woman who is really done with playing small. You are really done with dimming your light. Because when you dim your light, you're obviously not in your authentic expression, right? You're just not. Hey, Mary. You're just not. This is for the live, for the woman who's done playing fucking small. You're ready to step into and fully embody the woman you came here to be. Not the woman who has been put in this box, who's been put in a cage for a relationship that's not even fulfilling, that we think will be fulfilling if we step into this box, if we play by the rules and be in this cage. But it never is, and it never will be. What kind of a prisoner feels free? So the first thing I want to say as we go into this is that you are going to be always on a forever journey of unfolding who you are, like who you came here to be. There's always going to be different layers of your feminine, different layers of even your inner masculine that you're going to peel back. Like there's always going to be more and more and more and more layers, but especially as the feminine, right? Because we are just very vast in our expressions, right? If you want to think about Mother Earth, and because Earth is feminine, like just think about all the expressions that Earth has. Like us women are very similar to that. We are so diverse, complex, and mysterious. And that's the beautiful part about us. That is one of the most beautiful parts about us being a woman, is that we have all these different ranges of emotions, different ranges of archetypes, different ranges of how we want to express ourselves. Because we have a lot of emotions. But that's okay. That's our superpower. So with me saying that, I want you to come to a place of peace, of thinking that you need to be perfect in order to draw in this man and to be ready for that relationship. You will never be perfect, first of all. Okay, let's get that clear. You will never be perfect. Perfection means complete and done. Like, that's just not going to happen, because in our lives, first of all, we are evolutionary beings. We are always evolving, number one. So it's like trying to tell Earth to stop evolving. Like, she's not. Like, she's always evolving. We are the same way. So with that, there's something else I was going to say. Ocean beings. Yeah. So with that comes with the peace that you don't have to be perfect in order to meet someone. As a matter of fact, the love of your life, the one, your sacred partner, he's going to help you. He's going to help unfold even more layers within you, because that's how a sacred partnership works. And you do the same for him. You help unfold different layers for him. So it's not about being perfect, and it's not about being worthy enough. It's just that you have to draw that line in the sand that says, I am no longer available for unless that I know what I want and what I desire, and what I know, like, I deserve from my wholeness, because I am already whole and complete as I am. And I'm just continuing to discover more and more layers of myself on this journey that we call life and humanity, right? So it just, we really want to bring that peace to you. And to have fun as you are evolving, right? Have fun as you hit a certain level and you discover a new layer of yourself, and then you decide that there's even more that you want to discover. Have fun, because once you meet a desire, once you meet a manifestation, there's going to be one right after that. That's evolution. So let's just take a moment to appreciate that, and to know that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to know that you're worthy, period, end of fucking story. So why is there's this movement with the feminine, right? With the woman, with our expression. And I know we all see that. We all see this movement happening. But I really want to focus the one when it comes to like our relationships, because it is so common for women to do this when it comes to love. It is very common for women to change their identity so that they can feel chosen. it is very common for us to shape-shift who we are for love, for the man, for the relationship. And the thing is that for many years, we kind of had to do that. You know, there was only one option for women. Some women did work, but for the most part, a woman's option was to have children and to get married. There was like only one road, and there was always a scarcity around that. Like the first man that comes, like, go ahead, take him, you know? Like, of course, you know, I do believe that there were couples that were definitely fully in love and could be fully expressed, but women for a long time actually really couldn't be fully authentically expressed. But let's keep it with the context of men and relationships. For a very, very, very long time, it was more of this codependent love that we saw, that was preached, that we perhaps saw with our parents growing up. I know that's what I saw. A lot of very dysfunctional love, right? And it was that we, in a sense, needed the man, right? And when I say need, it comes from this need of codependency. It didn't come from this need of interdependency. Because there is a power that we hold as women, and there's a power that men hold as men. Right? So when we're in a relationship, both of these come together and expand on that power. And we do interdependently need each other for that, to create babies, to run a household, to co-create the life that you want. But we understand that it's more of an interdependence versus a codependent relationship, which is what the old paradigm was. This is what I believe, and this is what I see, and which is why I believe there's been a lot of divorce rates and all that thing happening. I believe we were in this very codependent scarcity relationships before for many, 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 many years. That was like the bulk of it. That was like the main thing. And now we are moving into this new paradigm where it's more sovereign, sacred union relationships, where two people feel complete of who they are and they feel whole, but they come together, they add to their life, and they are breaking generational generational, like they're changing the trajectory of their generations through the act of sacred love. And what that means to how they raise their children, what that means to the type of businesses that they operate in. Right? We're moving into this new sovereign paradigm where it's sacred love and not ego love, which I talked a lot about this in my Open to Love Masterclass, which it's still free until February 28th. I'm taking it down. So if you want to join that, I really break down what the sacred love is, what sacred love is and what ego love is. We're moving away from this ego love, moving into the sacred love where it's sovereignty, where it's I know who I am whole and complete who I am, and so does my partner, and we come together and we co-create a life together through our power, not through shadow and scarcity and, raise children with horrible power dynamics. And we actually teach our children to also be authentically expressed beings. Like that is what we're creating in this new paradigm that we're coming up with. And this is what I'm ushering women into. And this authentic expression is a huge part of it, because we have dimmed our lights for so long because we felt that we needed a man to feel whole and complete. Therefore, we dim our light, we shut ourselves down, or we can actually control, which is another part of crumbling of sexual polarity, which we talk a lot about that in the mother archetype, and making sure we have that one on point in liberated women in relationships, so we're not trying to mother our men and create a relationship where a man becomes like the child. Like we don't want that, right? So we don't need a man in the sense that he doesn't complete us. They add to our life, interdependent. This is what we are moving into. This is the new paradigm. Can you imagine two people coming together, two sovereign individuals in sacred love and creating. And if all of us on the planet did that, the type of shift we would have, the level of consciousness we would have, because most relationships are running off of the survival, codependent, I am not enough, scarcity vibe. That's not a power couple. That's not people who are in their power. That's people who are running by fear, and then using things to push that down. And that could be the relationship. That could be sex. That could be food. That could be alcohols. That could be money. We're going away from that. We're moving into this new era where you can be all of who you are, fully expressed in your feminine expression. And a man can hold that and wants you to be that. So, for too long, we've been in this previous paradigm. And I know for me that, let me see something here. Do I really want to say this? Okay, so when we're moving out of this paradigm, you can actually feel a level of confusion. And actually really a confusion also what true love is, what it means truly to be loved by you and actually who you are. Because probably for a long time, I know for me, and I'll speak for myself, and for a lot of women that I work with, they have identified a lot with the man and in that relationship. Their identity was through that, right? Codependent. It wasn't a self-sourced identity of who I am alone as me. There was always another person to identify that with, and they outsource that energy to them. So when you're now moving this way, it can feel a little confusing about who you are and what it really means to be truly loved. And probably there's some fear of actually breaking the mold to actually step into your fullness. Now, a lot of that fear can come back to what we've seen in women, you know, what's been passed down through our bloodlines, with what happened with our ancestors, because that is absolutely true. We carry the fears and the shadows from our ancestors. So there's a lot of stuff from that. But just even with this lifetime, what you've experienced with men when you've actually stepped into your fullness and actually wanted to be fully expressed, and the love that they perhaps withheld or that they threatened, because that was what it was like for me. I know if I stepped into my fullness and I wanted to be fully expressed, there would be a love that would be taken away from me, and then the fear of the relationship ending. So there was a period in time where I had to create my own identity. There's a period of time where you're going to have to create your, like, what is your authentic expression? Because for so long, it was just dimmed. For so long, it was just dependent on if somebody else approved or not. So when I say authentic expression, I'm going beyond like clothes. I'm going beyond like your hairstyle, your makeup, how you like to style your room or your home. Like, I'm going beyond that, because all of that is just reflection of in here. So when I mean by authentic expression, your truth, what I mean is like, what do you believe about yourself in life? Like you, not him, not your parents, not society, not even what you've been taught in maybe perhaps spirituality. You. What do you believe about yourself in life? What are your morals and values? So let me tell you, we have been programmed with so much shit. What do you believe as a woman? What are your morals and values? What are your desires in life? What do you want for a career? Do you want a career or not? What do you desire in friendships, in your relationship with your family? and with a man. Like, what are your desires, not what everyone else has told you? And be honest with yourself. Don't avoid or push that away, what it is you truly desire. What is your connection with your womb and your yoni and your body? What is your connection with your sexuality? Like your sexuality, just you. Not talking about somebody else. I'm talking about you. Your sexuality with yourself. Like, do you even have one? What is your connection with your heart and your heart to others? Like, what's that connection? What is your communication style? Like your communication style, and what type of woman do you want to be with communication during difficult times, during moments of conflict, during moments of celebration? I know and this is something that I'm working on, like this communication part, because for me, I've always like, when it comes to like celebrations or giving toasts, like my desire is to be the kind of woman that can really say like a really heartfelt speech, where it hits everyone's hearts. But then there is that fear, right? Versus where like I kind of dim my light, like what would they say? Do I put it on a piece of notes? But I don't want to read it off of notes, because then it doesn't look like it's just coming from the heart, So like even that, like that's what I mean by like your communication and how you show up in that. What is the level of intimacy with the darkest parts of yourself? Do you hide away from that, or do you actually look at them? What are your boundaries? What do you want to explore in life? What do you want to conquer? What is the level of security that you want to feel within yourself? Right? These are all questions that find your authentic. This is like the very bare minimum. And always the first step anyways, no matter what, when it comes to your stepping into your what's another word for authentic? Uniqueness. Right? Because how your soul feels is going to reflect on the outside. And sometimes it is easy to just start changing, like, your makeup and your clothes, and like, well, this doesn't really feel like me. This feels like me. Sometimes it's easier to start doing that, but it's not going to be as fulfilling as when you go within. Because let me tell you, even for my clothes and everything, my previous relationship, he didn't like what I authentically wanted to wear. He had to have a say in everything. Like literally I wanted to change my hair, like this drastic hair change. And he was just like, no. Like he even went with me to the hair salon. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you're trying to be authentically expressed on the outside, until you know this part in here, the outside is always going to be wobbly because your inside is wobbly. So we need to get this part in check of what is uniquely you. Completely sovereignly you. So how do we reach this? Because like, these are the questions, but then we're going to go even a step further. How do you reach that? How do you know when you have the right answer as you're on this discovery? Because this process, you're going to probably go through it a few times in your life. There's going to be a lot of iterations of you if you really want to step into your full authentic expression. There's always going to be another layer to unravel, as we just talked about in the beginning. And there's a very important part that is always going to be there for you no matter what. And that is your own internal compass. Your emotions are your superpower. Your intuition is your superpower as a woman. So our feelings and emotions and sensations that are happening inside is what is going to direct us to what is in full alignment for us, and where it is that we need to look at, right? It's going to tell us when something feels right? When we really tap into our emotions, feelings, and sensations, it's going to tell us when something doesn't feel right. It's going to tell us when something feels like, woo, that clicked. It's going to tell you when you are in fear, and when you need to step out of that fear and break that. Or perhaps when you're in real danger, like that too, right? It's really gonna tell you that too. It's gonna tell you when to pause, when to take a beat, because your body's tired, your mind is tired, you're emotionally tired. It can tell us when we are in an expansive environment and oh my God, your soul feels lit on fire. And this right here, this emotional guidance system is what we abandon in a relationship. And the consequence of that is dimming your light and dimming your beauty. Why do we do that? Let me know. Let me know why you do that. I'm going to give you my answer. It's like, why do we do that? Why would we ever abandon ourselves? Why would we abandon our superpower as women? Why? I can tell you why. Because whenever we feel in our relationship, my ears are buzzing so freaking strong right now. Whenever we are in a relationship and there's a disagreement, a moment of conflict, we don't stand in our power. Because we fear to lose the love, to lose the relationship. And you know what we do when that happens? We revert back to being 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe younger, maybe a little older. Of what mommy and daddy did to us. Or some kind of trauma that happened. We go back to our inner child when we were in that state of fear. Fear being the key word here. Because when we are in a state of fear, we feel unsafe. Fear equals unsafe. But here's the thing. Unsafe, I think what that really means is that you feel like you're gonna die. Sorry, that was really bothering me. That was really weird to do. We fear, like, unsafe means like we're gonna die, right? And that is like the little impending doom generator in our brain saying like, unsafe, we're gonna die, survivor mode. But thing is, in this context of a relationship, unless he's beating you, obviously, then that's different. First of all, you should get the fuck out of there right now. But I'm not talking to that audience of women. We are past that. But really what it is that we feel uncomfortable with the idea of the love being taken away, of the love no longer being there, of the closing of a relationship or the ending of a relationship. We fear all of these things. And what really is happening is that we just feel uncomfortable. It's not, you're gonna die. It can feel extremely uncomfortable where you're like, oh my God, am I ever gonna get out of this sometimes? But it's just really uncomfortable. And that the idea of the uncomfortableness of the relationship being lost scares you. And that is when we abandon ourselves. We abandon ourselves to save the relationship. I'm going to neglect what my internal compass is telling me, what my emotional guidance is telling me, what my inner being is telling me, what my intuition is telling me. I'm going to abandon my needs and my desires to save the relationship. And then we dim our light. And we shrink. And we begin to look unhappy. And then people ask us, are you happy? And then we put a mask on and say yes. So in this moment, this is what you want to do. In this moment, when you catch that state of fear in this argument or whatever it is, you want to say, like, you're feeling uncomfortable. And what you want to say in that moment is, I'm uncomfortable, but I am safe. Like, your body is safe. You're not going to die from an argument. I'm uncomfortable, but I am safe. And then you pause. And then you check in with your body. You get out of your head. You drop down into your body. This is why the embodiment practices that I have inside of the Liberated Women in Relationships is so important, because you want to get out of your head, because the head is where all that fear is running. So we get down into our bodies and we ask, what do I really want from this? What does my soul really want from this situation? How do I want to express myself with this? Then again, you probably have to, maybe there's maybe you don't know the answer of the solution to the argument, but you're like, okay, I need to move my body. Like, I need to literally express my body through physical movement right now. And that's really important for us women. That's why I do all the embodiment practices that I have. And you have so many tools in the Liberated Women in Relationships to like break that tension that you feel in your body, because you need to move that energy out anyways. You don't want it stuck. That's going to manifest into something that you don't want. And again, that would be dimming your light. Stuffing it down. That's not what we're here about. We're here about being authentically expressed feminine women. So then you listen. What is my internal compass telling me? What is my inner guide? What is my intuition? What is my emotional guidance system telling me right now? What is it that I really want? You journal it out, write it down, speak it out, and then you move. You move to that. That was weird. Yeah, and then you move. And when you move, when you start to make that action, is when you start to embody your authentic expression. that action is what you need to do. Just looking at my notes here for a second, making sure that I said everything. And as you start to move from within, as you start to listen to this authentic expression that wants to be expressed, and you start to actually do it, your external will start to change. You can't be externally expressed if you don't have your internal liberation. Just got here, we'll watch the replay from the beginning. Aw, thank you, Mapaya. Thank you for being here. So that means having your internal liberation. Your liberation happens through your body, right? Because this is what you have to do. We have to go down into our body. And that means having an intimate relationship with your internal compass, with your emotional guidance, with your oracle. Like what we are talking about right here is your oracle. And this is one of the modules inside of the Liberated Woman with Relationships. I think it's module 4. Like you need to have a deep and intimate relationship with this. This is where your authentic expression is being primed. What is saying, this is what I want to happen. And as a matter of fact, so the 4 different archetypes go in through 4 different seasons, right? And I keep it very simple with the archetypes because too many archetypes for me is very overwhelming. And then I like simplicity, and I really like to embody simplicity because the genius is in the simplicity, right? Isn't that what Einstein said? So the oracle is the winter, right? When you're going within. And then what happens after winter is the maiden, which is spring. Coming out authentically expressed. This is why going within is important, because could you imagine if, like, I don't know, if Earth didn't know how to be authentically expressed, like what would it look like? What would it look like? But what's in here is always going to guide you on what to actually do, on what next step, what it is that you want to do, what you want to say, how you want to be. Right? So when you know who you are, you can be in full alignment with that external expression that we all want, right? Because we are, I guess you can say expressive beings, like, duh, like look at all the different types of designs that we have for clothes, for makeup. Like this is part of our creativity too. You know, like how we express ourselves is like our creativity to design the type of woman we want to be, to design the type of life that we want, to design the type of relationship that we want. But how do you know what you want until we go in here? How do we know what we want when we actually meet the man? If it feels in alignment with you, we know that through in here, through your internal compass. This is the most intimate relationship you can have, and this is going to be your best friend for the rest of your fucking life. This is like your partner, your internal compass within you. So this is where it begins, right? And then once we know this, then we can branch and learn about more different versions of our expression, like the enchantress, like the mother archetype, and like all these other ones, but I go into just like the 4 ones. There's something else I wanted to say before that. Hold on a second. I think I missed it. Okay. The level of permission to give it to be placed by the man and how that affects. Okay. So the next thing when it comes to this that I wanted to say, so how does this impact the caliber of man that you draw in? It really depends on the level of permission that you give yourself to be authentically expressed. What level of permission do you have for yourself to say, this is the level of liberation that I want, that I'm available for? Is it unlimited? Or are you okay with a man capping it? You actually define the level of liberation that you want, level of permission that you give yourself. You are the one who chooses the man. Unlike before, I felt like we would be the ones to be chosen because we've been conditioned to that. No, we get to choose. The woman sets the standards for the relationship. We are the one that says yes to the date. We are the one that says yes to being boyfriend and girlfriend. We are the one that says yes to getting married. We are the ones who call men to rise. It starts with us. This is why our feminine, authentic expression is so important. We set the bar, not them. Can you imagine if every single woman on the planet was awakened and what that would call for the man? It's either you either rise up or you ain't getting no pussy, basically. So we're not available for that. And then the men who rise up, they're the ones who are going to defend the sacredness of us and protect the sacredness of the feminine, because that's what the masculine does. So the permission you give yourself is you. And when you are in the embodiment of your feminine energy, of your divine feminine energy, you are drawing in a man who's in his divine masculinity. As long as you hold that, and when you meet a man, you don't cave for the first man that's available to you. This is what you want, and you call this in all the time. Because remember, even because you're in your divine feminine essence, you can absolutely revert back. Once you're in a relationship with the one, you can absolutely fuck it up. So it's our job to always be doing our own inner work, to continually really express ourselves and look at our shadows and look at our fears. Because our fears and our shadows is what can fuck up a relationship. You know? So and because we are the feminine is the one that is the magnetic pull, we are the one that draw it in. So you don't have to go searching for your man. Your energy is going to draw it in. He's the one that is the more penetrating energy that's seeking out. So this is when you understand this, you can just go and enjoy your life and stop searching. As a matter of fact, if you're searching, you're probably in scarcity. So it's more about allowing it in, feeling safe in your body to receive that, creating safety in your body. And holding your standards. Because when you really do meet the one, he wants you to stay in that expression. He doesn't want to dim your light. So the first step is get in touch with your internal compass, your emotional guidance system, your intuition, all of that. That all to me is all aligned with the same thing. Your oracle, your womb, We talk deeper into this in the Liberated Woman. Really, this is the first step. Really understanding this piece, and then learning about these different archetypes that I'm going to teach you about, because this is also going to help you understand you as a woman, because women, we're not linear like men. We are cyclical and we go through different phases, right? So knowing what each of these archetypes embody is going to help you to actually be more expressed in your enchantress, which is your sexuality, like what that really fucking means as a woman, being fully expressed sexuality. And that does not mean sleeping around. Absolutely not. That's not what that means. So we're going to talk more about that and how to harness that energy for you, and how to really be comfortable with your body and really feel surrendered when you are ready to give your body to the man of your dreams, and like to really allow yourself to open up. And that comes with being comfortable with your body, feeling safe in the relationship, and creating that relationship with your sexuality. So we're really going to talk about that. And I really want to bring a lot of light to this for you, because we have been taught so wrong with this energy. So wrong. Then we're going to go into more of the oracle, which is what we're talking about today, and creating a relationship with your womb and with your cycle. And then we're going to go into the maiden, which is your throat chakra, your authentic liberation, with your voice and your boundaries, and just really stepping out into the world with your fullness. And then we're going to go into the mother archetype, which is the nurturing, compassion, and loving one, and how to not go into the mothering energy so that you don't mother your man, because that's going to crumble the relationship. And each one of these have a specific code that it offers in a sacred union relationship. So we're really going to talk more about that. And when I learned all of this, and this is the reason why I love this program so much, and why this is like, I poured my heart and soul into this program, because I didn't understand any of this. And once I understood that, I understood myself more as a woman, and I was like, God, I'm so magical. And I want you to see how magical you really are, and to really honor you as a woman, because I didn't have that. I actually felt that the male was a better gender for a very long time, until I understood what it meant to really be a woman. And that's what I want you, and what you really have to offer just from being you in a relationship. Because we have a power that we hold, and the man has a power that we hold. So once we understand our power, we can actually co-create a sacred union where the sexual polarity is on fire. And when it does begin to crumble, we know where it's coming from, and we can build on top of that. And it just creates an upward spiral and magic, because your relationship isn't supposed to get complacent and boring. And this new paradigm is going to break that. The new paradigm that we're heading into is breaking all that complacency and the boredom, right? Because sexual polarity was not on point in the old paradigm. Absolutely not. So, thank you for saying that, Mapaya. And, what else was I going to say? Yeah, so we start next week. Oh, we have embodiment practices, as I mentioned, with this program. So you will be going through all the different archetypes and the different embodiment practices, so you can really integrate that within your body, because conceptualizing things, it does help. That's why we have brains, but especially for women, we are of the body, so we really needed to bring that down into here, and that's going to help allow us to integrate it, rechange the cells and the neurons in our body and all the chemistries that happen in here. Because literally, when you are morphing into something, there are stuff that's happening in your body. So we do that when we actually drop in and feel it, and then take it a step further and integrate that when we going to meet potential suitors, going to meet with our man and all that. And yeah. So we start next week, Friday. It's $555 that you save $67 if you pay the full. Also have payment plans of 2 months and 3 months, which is $211 for the 3 month, or $311 for 2 months. Now I have this other program as well if you really also want to work on your masculine energy and you also want to work on breaking disempowering behaviors and cycles, because we will help that a little bit in your awakening your feminine energy with the liberated woman in relationships. But to really get down to the nitty gritty and to create an actual new blueprint for the sovereign woman, the Rebuild program is for you. And you can bundle that up with the liberated woman in relationships. And I have 6-week and 12-week for that. So if you want to do that one, reach out to me, because that is a one-on-one program. So I want to make sure that we are a good fit, because you're going to have a lot of access to me and I'm going to have a lot of access to you. So I want to make sure that we are compatible for that. So what else do I want to say? I think that's all I want to say. Thank you for being here with me and taking the time to spend this hour with me, or 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I appreciate you. I love you. If you think that this live stream was helpful, share it onto your timeline, or send it to someone that you think would benefit from hearing all of the beautiful stuff that was in here. And I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I hope to see you in the program. If not, I'll see you in the social media ethers. All right. Bye. Mwah.